All right, let's get the title up here. And it's a very timely title, remember. Think of what's going on right now in Mississippi and Louisiana and what's headed our way. As of tomorrow, we have, sorry Taylor, Hurricane Taylor. Now, it is a short story, so for short stories, make sure that you put it inside of quotation marks. If it is a book, we have to underline it. Now, genre should be super easy. If you look underneath the title in PILA, it likes to tell you the genre. Genre is our fancy pants term. That means a specific type or kind. Now, I like to use genres when we're talking about books. I also like to use genre when I'm talking about music. Asking somebody what type of music do you like, what genre of music do you like, what genre of books do you like. All right, tell me, what's the genre of the story, Hurricane Taylor?
An adventure story.
That's exactly it. This is adventure fiction.
Can I just go to the bathroom?
We have a girl out right now. So fiction means it's not true. Yeah, it's all made up. And this time it's pretty adventurous. And I think that if we watch the news tonight, we're going to see with a category 1, category 2, not quite sure what cat it is right now.
It was 2 because it slowed down to 2 miles.
But right now,
Are we talking about real
please
life?
stop. Please cover your face. Put your mask on. I'm not quite sure what it is right now because we don't have access to the news right now. We're at school and busy working. But I think you're going to see, if you do watch the news tonight and you watch what the hurricane is doing with that storm surge, I think that you are going to see just how dangerous and adventurous the story truly was. I don't know that the story was long enough to really capture exactly how much danger Taylor and Grandpa were in, if you recall, when they were in the sailboat. Yes, Chloe?
May I give you some more words on this?
Yes.
I hope that.
So are we okay with genre, which means type or kind? Yes? There's at least one song in every genre of music, for instance, that I like. There's not particularly a genre of music that I don't like, but I'm surrounded by musicians and artists in my family, so they kind of look at you funny when you start talking about not liking music. We just like music. We like music for just it being music, you know? Now, there are some songs I might like. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Can I go to the bathroom when Aiden gets back?
I believe so. I don't know if what kind of potty line we have in here. But yeah, you should be able to. Hey, my fancy pants term, protagonist. Do you remember what it means? You do, because most of you got it right on your extra credit that I'm going to be giving out at the end. Yes, ma'am. What's a protagonist?
The main character.
The main character, and it is...
Logan.
No, that was the other story.
Taylor.
Taylor.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Because it's really Taylor's story, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He's nice.
It really is, girl. It's your story. Now, Grandpa's important. Yeah, Grandpa is important. But it's not Grandpa's story. It is Taylor's story. It's yours. It's all yours. Okay, so she is our protagonist. Now, setting. Let me remind you of the complete definition of setting, okay? Setting is where. Setting is when. And setting is under what conditions. But, you know, the author doesn't have to tell you everything. Like, sometimes you're not going to get a complete setting. Sometimes the author definitely won't give you an under what conditions. Yeah? Because it's not going to be a character versus nature kind of story. Sometimes the author isn't going to tell you when, which might seem strange. But the author wants it to be anytime. Okay? We have all 3 for this story. Where is the story taking place?
At Grandpa's.
Grandpa's? Ooh, can we call it a beach house? So we can put ourselves in ultimate danger during a hurricane?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Why do you like danger?
Because it's an adventure story. You
It
need
just sounds more
some.
interesting.
As long as you survive it, it's an adventure story. If you don't, it's a tragedy.
Or a death story.
That's another genre for you.
Death story.
Okay? So we're at Grandpa's beach house, which now sounds ominous. Beach house sounds fun. Beach house during a hurricane. Not so much fun. Just saying. Hey, we did get, and listen, this was mentioned in one itty bitty prepositional phrase in paragraph 1. But you have a when. Do you remember the when? Yes.
Spring break.
Spring break. Now, normally, you do not capitalize seasons of the year. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm a grammar nerd, so I'm just going to bring back in grammar right now. But spring break is a special, well-known time of year. So for spring break, I just want you to know that it's okay, because it's kind of special on its own thing. It is okay to capitalize spring and break, but capitalize both of them if you're going to capitalize it at all. But otherwise, normally, you do not capitalize winter, spring, summer, fall, autumn, whatever you want to call it, for fancy pants. Yes.
Even though you don't capitalize the seasons, spring break, winter break, summer break, they're the special name of a break.
And then, if you want to give it special importance, you do it with capitalization.
Capitalize.
We definitely have an under what conditions. Because that under what conditions, is it a little weird that the under what conditions is happening the same week that we read the story?
Maybe.
It's a little freaky. That's what
I
I'm
didn't
saying.
notice that.
Like, the news will never have been so interesting than it will be tonight when you watch and see what that strength of a storm will do to a beach house.
Will this show?
Oh, yes, yeah. They were this morning, oh, it's attacking her now. The attack net, it's on Rahel. The attack net was attacking you in a minute ago. It's getting her now.
It's moved on.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's not gonna hit me.
it's coming for you.
What?
Now listen, the attack net, it's coming for you. Yes, absolutely. Who asked, will they show that? You did. This morning, I'm an early riser, so I'm watching the news, trying to wake up, and they were already showing what the hurricane effects were. I believe they were showing this morning Biloxi, Mississippi.
Yep.
And were they, Chloe? The storm surge before it really kind of got there was, y'all, the waves were crazy big. Crazy big. And this is, you know, it's not one of those 3, 4s, or 5s hurricanes, but it was big enough to worry. So I can't imagine allowing my child to get in a sailboat, even during the eye of the hurricane, because it's not like the water just goes, oh, we can take a break now, it's the eye of the hurricane. No! You can't stop ripples of water. They just keep going. You
I
know
would
this.
swim for
You
it.
have thrown rocks before. So, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine sending my kid in a sailboat to go get help.
Bye.
Alright, so can we say under what conditions is a hurricane?
Bye.
See ya.
By yourself.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, this is bye.
No, not really. She's already decided that we will. Yes.
If you're gonna send your child out in a sailboat to go get help, you might as well call it a hurricane. It's no.
Because you know I was a hurrying when I was in it. Here's the deal. Now do you understand why it was important to say that mom does not know anything about tools?
Yes.
And mom also knows nothing about sailing? So grandpa, who's injured, because honestly, for me, it's gonna be Taylor, you stay here with the girls. Mama and grandpa will be right back. However, if I know nothing, I'm gonna send the best person.
Yeah, Taylor.
Bye. Bye. Sending you off to danger.
Because, y'all, if
Bye.
mama doesn't know a hammer from a wrench, which now we understand why that was
You're
said in
gonna
the story.
die.
We not sending mama. Grandpa's gonna drown. And then once again, it's not an adventure story, it's a tragedy.
Also, and since mom doesn't know what a wrench or a is, what if the way is gold?
What's she gonna do?
Right.
She gonna fly.
City.
What's she gonna do?
She gonna fly on the boat.
Taylor, that's what
Thank you.
I was gonna say the
we can buy a jetpack.
Excuse me, hush, because it's back there and they need to be able to hear me. Yes,
I
and
was
your
gonna
good
say
questions.
the waves would be fun to surf, but it wouldn't be fun to crash into a building.
It's only fun to surf when it's on its way. It's not fun to surf when it's here. Trust me. The same musicians I grew up with, they're all surfers.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay, I'm gonna give you, hey Tendra, I'm gonna give you an alternative way to state your conflicts, okay? Old school way, the way your parents would have been taught, the way I was taught, throughout high school, throughout college, man versus nature, man versus himself. But there is an alternative way, so I want you just to know that you can state them this way. For your conflicts, instead of man, because you know that is referring to humanity, it can be character versus character, okay? It can be, instead of man versus himself, character versus, now it would be himself or herself. And instead of man versus nature, it can be stated character versus nature. So I will let you make the call of which one you prefer. Now that we kind of have it settled, we know what they all mean. Now I can tell you, hey, there's another way that you can state this, okay? What's the major conflict? Yes, sir.
Man versus nature.
Amen.
No, girl.
So I'm going to use the new way, character versus nature. Completely not wrong. Stick with old school, man versus nature if you prefer. Remember, man is referring to humanity there. It is definitely that family. It's really Taylor's story, but that family versus a hurricane versus the elements.
They're not ready.
Your the mom and the two daughters are going down.
Oh, Mama.
How do you know?
It's not a tragedy.
How do you know?
Taylor makes it. Yes.
Why
Yeah,
do
Taylor
many
makes
hurricanes come against us? During hurricanes and tornadoes or
Hey,
water days.
Right?
Wind and water attack us.
No,
And then during earthquakes and volcano eruptions. Fire and earth come against us.
Yes. Zombies. Yes. Okay. Let me tell you where you will almost never go wrong when it comes to conflict in a story. There can always be an argument that in every story you can put down character versus, and this time I am going to choose herself. These characters, yeah, I know they're made up people from our authors. I know this Taylor here isn't real and that Taylor there is.
Or this is a dream.
But the author is writing a story about people for people. And that author is going to make the protagonist, your main character, question themselves. Can I do this? What is Mom thinking putting me on this sailboat? Oh my goodness, remember the freak out when Grandpa got hurt? To this day, I'm here to tell you there's nothing like, and I say it over and over again, I don't care how old you are, but you let an older person than you fall down and get hurt. You just have, I mean, it's just one of the scariest things. Kids falling down and get hurt, let's face it, y'all bounce. You fall down and get hurt all the time. But an older person, it's like, oh my goodness, you know? Yes, sir.
Can I go wash my hands in the
Yes.
bathroom?
So, you, particularly for me, will never go wrong saying that the conflict is man versus himself, or the character versus himself or herself. Because we all question ourselves every day. Can I do it? Will I do it? If I do it, how's it going to go?
Why did I do it?
Why did I do it? Thank you. And why did I do that? Absolutely. So you'll never go wrong with that, okay? Yes, ma'am.
So one time, my grandma was taking care of us for the morning,
Yes.
and I forgot my socks, so she was going upstairs and get them, and she fell.
Stairs
My
are
grandma
one of the
fell
most
out.
frightening things in my life. I don't know why. I'm scared of stairs.
even snakes?
Yes. I'll pick up a snake. I'm scared of stairs.
I am so scared that my grandma has boxes everywhere. She's been in the house for a little while, and the one time she moved in, and there was so many boxes all over the place, she fell.
There's nothing like it. Kids fall. I have 4 kids. I'm a teacher of a few thousand, okay, over the years. Kids fall. You fall. Boys have big old feet. You're like puppies. Big old feet. You fall. Little kids fall, okay?
Everybody on earth.
But
See this thing right
that older person falling, you're right, Taylor, it's just almost takes the wind out of you, as they say. Yes, sir.
My mom's dad, like he loves biking, just relaxing. One day he fell off and broke his collarbone. And we were all like, oh no, is he gonna be okay?
Right.
Now you're not gonna
And
let
then
me
you're
ride bike.
thinking, at least it was the collarbone, once you get over the initial
Yeah.
shock, you know? Hey, a theme. Listen, you've grown up for so long calling things morals in a story. You get a moral when you read something as wonderful. Y'all remember 2nd grade if you were here, your Aesop's Fables. Yes, ma'am?
He's back with his eyes, but he may not be able to write yet, so but the doctor can't like see till later, so I'm just gonna wing it.
Cool.
I'll need to open your window.
With his breath
Oh
in hand.
wait. Not so trouble. Just like
I can open up the door then. So, morals are going to come with your story like Aesop's Fables. If you recall in 2nd grade, you read a whole bunch about turtles, and it seems like a fox loves to eat grapes. Do you recall? And that moral is always stated in an Aesop's Fable at the very end, and it's a life lesson. Yeah? Well, a theme is similar, but it's not exactly a moral. The theme is really answering this question: why did the author write this? And the answer is not to make money. Okay.
Just to be like me.
It's me.
Why? What's the purpose of the story? What is the purpose of the story? Now, here's where it can get confusing. The theme is often stated as a motivational bumper sticker for a car. How we are supposed to make our life better. Something that you see on a t-shirt or a coffee mug for somebody. Be happy. Okay? Something like that. So, look at this kind of theme, which is about everyday superheroes, basically, that we're going for the story. And I'll get out of the way so y'all can see it.
Thank you.
Hidden strengths. Things you did not know that you were great at. Hidden strengths can be surprising, and they make you a natural leader. Taylor had no idea that she could save her family
I saved my family.
by sailing to the Coast Guard in the midst of a hurricane, but she did. And she surprised herself. And that, even with the absence of her father, if you recall, he's away on a job overseas, that made her the leader of a family. And she had no idea. She didn't wake up that morning thinking, okay, today how am I going to lead my family? Sometimes you don't know how awesome you are until you're tested at something. And I don't mean, here, let me pass out a test to you. I mean, something comes along and you immediately jump on it and you fix it. Sometimes you just don't know. Okay, that's right. So hidden strengths, make sure you get that down, can be surprising. I didn't know I could do that. And they make you that natural leader. And if you haven't been tested in this way, if you don't know what your hidden strengths are, you do have them. That test for you just hasn't happened yet. Yeah? I will tell you that it doesn't have to be something that you think, let me go get my superhero cape on because I am awesome. A hidden strength could be, let me give you a for example. It doesn't have to be super duper exciting. We were having a teacher's meeting, what, Monday? Anyone say? So we were having a teacher meeting Monday. Someone mentioned, yes, I don't know when we're going to be able to organize that. I don't know how we're going to be able to organize that, but let's just try to find some time to organize that with what we have going on. Well, little did that person know, you had a person in that meeting with a hidden strength. I don't know if you know this about Miss Allison, but she might want a purple, because she likes purple, cape with a big giant O on it, because she is the organizer. If you need something organized and decorated at the same time, you call Miss Clark. Who you gonna call?
Miss Clark.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's not, you don't have to save somebody's life to prove that you have this hidden strength. So there are other hidden strengths. And I knew that she was a master organizer, but she surprised others with her ability to organize something so quickly. That is the way her mind works. If she walks in and she sees clutter, she knows exactly how she's going to arrange it, and not to mention, it's going to look cute. All I'm saying, it's not just going to be organized, it's going to look good too. Y'all know Miss Clark, you know I'm right.
Yeah, everybody knows Miss Clark.
Please, okay? So, don't expect sometimes your hidden strengths to be saving the world kind of hidden strengths. They can be some everyday things that you are just supremely good at, that others, it's a weakness for them. Yes, sir.
Like my dad, he has really good reflexes.
Yes.
One time, I saw a turtle, but it was like a big snapping turtle.
Uh-huh.
I went to go pet it, and it was about to bite me, but my dad came and took me out of there. Like just in time.
I can clean up a spill like that.
Now that's a real talent.
That's
a real talent.
My husband will come in and see the spill, and as it's still spilling, ask, who did this? But not me. Clean it up like that. And then I find out who did it. And then they'll be in trouble next time. But I am the spill master. I don't even care if it comes out of you, I can clean it up with you.
Ew.
I, 4 kids, 70,000 students, girl, I will clean that. Yes, absolutely. Now, I've got to go, but let me give you some super duper aids. I am so worried that these things are too easy for you.
Oh my gosh.
But let's keep going. Let's prove my point, which I'd never prove a point with just one example. But y'all, these little assessments for the reading, y'all are super readers. There's a hidden strength. Maybe it wasn't so hidden for you. These are all A's that I'm fixing to pass back out. So let me stop this.